Welcome back, guys. Lonestar Patriot here. Thanks for joining me. So today I want to look at an EDC piece of gear that's actually made by 511 Tactical. It's what they call the Rush Delivery X-Ray Messenger Bag. And so what I want to do is we'll jump inside, we'll take a look at some of the specifications on this bag, and I'll also point out some of the unique features that I like about this bag. So stay tuned. Okay, so before we dive into the specifications and unique features of this Rush Delivery X-Ray bag that you see in front of you, I do want to mention that there's actually two other smaller bags in this Rush Delivery lineup that are available from 511. So the smallest of the three is actually what they call the Rush Delivery Mike bag, and then the middle size is what they call the Rush Delivery Lima bag. So the Rush Delivery X-Ray is the largest of the three, so if this particular size is too large for your needs, you might consider looking at the other two smaller options. Now, looking at the unique features and specifications of this bag, let's first talk about the color. So the color you see here is actually their sandstone color. Now, for some reason, 511 no longer offers the sandstone color in this particular X-Ray bag. However, they do offer it in the other two bags that I mentioned. So in this X-Ray bag, the current offerings are the double tap as well as the black. Okay, so starting off with the overall dimensions of the X-Ray bag. So this bag measures approximately 12 inches high by 20 inches long by 6.5 inches wide. Now, starting with the outside first. So as you can see here, there are actually two zippered admin pockets on the outside of this bag. Now, one thing to note is that these zippers are YKK zippers, which are certainly high quality zippers, and they are self-lubricating. Now, the nice feature about these pockets is that these are actually fairly large pockets. So they basically run half the overall length of the bag and half the overall height of the bag. So you have a lot of capacity on the outside, which makes it very nice to store items in instead of having to undo the buckles, undo the Velcro, and gain access to the interior of the bag. So it's a very quick and convenient way to store items on the outside of the bag. Now, as you can see here, it does have Molle Webbing that runs the full length of the bag. Now, it also has this loop field attached to the Molle Webbing, which 511 calls their slick stick. So you've got the additional capacity of attaching Molle compatible gear, and then of course the loop field if you want to attach, say, patches, name tapes, etc. Now, moving to the grab handle, it does have a very sturdy and well-stitched grab handle. The only downside, in my opinion, is that the grab handle is fairly narrow, and it's also fairly shallow to be able to easily gain access to this handle, especially if you're wearing gloves. Now, one of the features you see is that it does have some Molle Webbing up here at the top in case you want to clip on some additional items. Okay, so moving on to the shoulder strap as well as the shoulder pad. So starting out with the strap, this is actually made from a 2-inch wide webbing. And then also to mention is that there's quite a range of adjustment for this strap based on your body type as well as the position on the body that you want to carry this bag in. Now, moving to the shoulder pad. So this is approximately 3 inches wide and is actually very well cushioned to provide more comfort in carrying heavier items inside this bag. Now, as you can see from the outside, it does have these 3 Velcro keepers to keep the strap centered within the width of the shoulder strap, so that's certainly very nice. And then on the back side, it does have a very well ventilated mesh, and then it also has these 2 what they call non-slip kind of padded areas that help prevent this strap from falling off more easily from your shoulder. Okay, so moving to the end of the bag. Now, what you have is a dedicated water bottle pocket that measures approximately 9.5 inches tall by 6.5 inches wide, which equals the overall width of the bag. Now, I'm a huge fan of having a dedicated water bottle pocket on the exterior of a bag, just in case the bottle actually starts to leak or it might potentially sweat, and that way it doesn't ruin any of the other items inside the bag. Now, what it also has, as we saw on the front panel, it does have the Molle Webbing, of course, with the slick stick technology to give you additional capacity there. And then also at the bottom of this pocket, it does have a dedicated drain hole. Now, if I flip this over, on the back side, it does have a meshed or ventilated pocket here, which is certainly helpful. Again, if it sweats or starts to leak, it's got the ability to wick the moisture away from the bag and not contain that moisture inside this pocket. And then lastly, it does have the ability to cinch down the contents of whatever is in this pocket to keep them from falling out, which is certainly a nice feature. Now, one more thing to mention is that this entire bag is actually an ambidextrous design. So whatever you see on one side of the bag, for example, this water bottle pocket, you have the same that's mimicked on the opposite side. That way you've got the same access to pockets and pouches from either the right side of your body or the left side of the body. Okay, so moving to the back of the bag. Now, of course, this is the portion that rides against your body, and it has a very large zippered pocket. Now, this pocket measures approximately the overall length of the bag by the overall height of the bag, so there's a lot of capacity here. Now, in following with the Ambidextrous Design, you actually have two zippers, one from each side to access this pocket. So whether you carry from the left side of the body or the right side of the body, you still have easy and convenient access to this pocket. Now, inside this pocket actually has one of my favorite features about this bag, and that is this loop field that is here to accept, say, a Velcro-backed holster for a concealed carry weapon. Now, obviously, if you can't carry concealed on your body, this is a very convenient and safe way to carry a firearm, say, in a holster, to keep this not only in this pocket against your body, but also keep it in the same position so that if you needed to access it, of course, you can consistently draw this weapon from this bag, given that you might have a Velcro-backed holster. Okay, so moving on to the edge of the bag. Now, the way you gain access to the interior is to first remove these Duraflex buckles. And then on this outside flap, there's also a Velcro closure. So as I open this up, you can actually hear, of course, the Velcro as you get into the bag. Now, the reason I point that out is that this is certainly not a covert or a quiet bag. So if that matters to you, just keep that in mind. Now, what you have here is actually several admin pouches and pockets. So you have a couple of smaller slots here for, say, pens and pencils. But you do have a couple larger pockets, with this one being an open-ended pocket. Now, just for reference, this is, say, a Surefire G2 XLE. So if you were to use this for, say, a flashlight pocket, this will actually slide all the way through. So you would need a flashlight with a larger bezel. Now here, this can actually be worked for a dedicated knife pocket. Now it does have a dedicated keeper here for, say, holding your keys or maybe a light to visibly see this particular side of the bag. Now it does have a Velcro-backed admin pouch here, which is certainly nice to keep contents inside of. And then directly behind that, it has just an open admin pouch. Now at the very top, as you can see, it does have a zippered pocket. And the size of this pocket basically measures the overall length of the bag by the overall height of the bag. Okay, so moving on to the main compartment of the bag. Now as I open the main compartment up, as you can see is that the main compartment has been subdivided into multiple sections of pockets and pouches, which is certainly a feature that I like. Now, also in keeping with the ambidextrous design that we discussed earlier, the interior pockets and pouches have been basically mirrored from one side of the bag to the other. Now, starting off here, you have a very large open admin pocket, and it does also have a Velcro closure. So, for example, if you wanted to keep a laptop inside this pouch, you have the ability to cinch that laptop down and keep it from falling out of this pocket. Now, again, you have the exact same pocket on the opposite side with that same Velcro closure. Now, moving on, you have two open admin pockets. Now, these pockets basically divide the overall length of the bag in half. And then you do have the exact same admin pockets on the opposite side. Now, here's where the only difference comes in inside this main compartment. So, on this side of the bag, directly in front of those open admin pockets, you have two zippered pockets. Now, these are the same high-quality YKK zippers that are on the rest of the bag. And then these are a mesh-lined pocket. So not only can you secure your items inside these pockets with the zipper, you can also easily identify what is inside these pockets. Now, on the opposite side, you actually have a loop field that runs the full length of the bag. So this is a great spot for, say, any Velcro-backed products, say a Velcro holster. And then at the very bottom of this bag, you do have two drain holes. So you have one here and one here. So for any liquids that might get on the inside of this bag, there is the ability to drain that out of these two holes. All right, guys, so right up today's video covering the 511 Tactical Rush Delivery X-Ray bag. Now, one thing I failed to mention earlier when I was discussing the specification of the bag is what the outside material is made from. So it's actually made from a 1050 denier Cordura nylon material, and it's certainly a high quality material that is very durable. Now, in fact, I've had this bag for about 1.5 years now. In fact, this is my second bag. I actually have a third as a spare. So I'm a big fan of these bags, and as you saw from the video, is this particular bag hasn't really shown any signs of wear and tear. So it's been a very durable bag thus far. Now, in terms of price, so this particular bag retails right about $110, although you can a lot of times find it on sale for about $100 or a little less. So for the money, I think it's a very good bag, high quality bag that can be used not only for, say, an EDC type bag, but it can also double as, say, a range bag. So it definitely has the multi-purpose capability. And given its size, there's a lot of different options and uses that you can find for it. But I hope you found the video helpful. But thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and keep it a good fight. Okay, so the overall dimensions of this X-ray bag measure 12 inch. Now, it does have an ambidextrous that you can store items in these two pockets. That way, you can gain easy access to those items instead of having it. It also has the Molle Webbing here at the texture will help prevent somewhat, at least keeping.